This video is brought to you by Eniba. Stay tuned until the end of the video where you can learn about a website that will enhance your gaming experience. Disney. Remake. I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of all of it. On the one hand, I guess I don't have to worry about any new ones coming out until Moana next year. I can't believe it's around the corner now. Seriously, what timeline do we live in? So I figured instead of a Disney remake, I'd review a Disney knockoff instead. Yeah, I'm sure that'll make me feel better. So back in the 90s, Disney was dominating everyone. Not only were they making the best movies they made in years, they were also making some of the greatest movies of all time. Between The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, The Lion King, not Pocahontas, no. And let's not forget, the very first animated film to ever be nominated for Best Picture, Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, after a rough 70s and 80s of struggling to make ends meet, it seemed like Disney was back and better than ever. And of course, came all that competition. These rivals would come in many different forms. Between Don Bluth, DreamWorks, and Blue Sky, we also have to acknowledge some of the lesser known ones that don't get the same amount of attention, but have grown underground cult followings over the years. Now, I'm not talking about those mock films that are blatant ripoffs. No, I'm talking about those movies that are original stories, but copy Disney in virtually every other way. Being based on a fairy tale, being a musical, being 2D animated, stuff like that. And there were a decent number of these back in the 90s. Stuff like Ferngully, Swan Princess, and of course, Quest for Camelot. Yeah, let's do that one today. Quest for Camelot. Believe it or not, I've actually never watched this movie as a kid. It just got away from me in the movie store. I cared way more about renting video games, honestly, but I heard a lot of rather mixed things over the years. Some people love it and call it an underrated imaginative gem with great music, animation, and a sick magical world, while others call it terrible, a blatant, soulless, disjointed, boring, predictable slog that has zero real identity of its own. And as for me, well, after finally sitting down and watching it myself, I kinda side with the latter, but I don't think I'd go that far. It's definitely not a good movie, but I don't know, there's a few redeeming factors here and there. Apparently this movie had a really rough production, which might explain a few things. It was originally going to be a PG-13 rated movie that was more in line with Ralph Bakshi's Wizards, a movie that was known for having swears, violence, all that good stuff. But Warner Brothers, noticing how much money Disney was making with their movies, decided to change it. Legendary animator Lauren Faust, who worked on the movie, would later describe it as one of the worst times of her career. Warner Brothers did not know what they were doing. They didn't care about animation being an art form as well as entertainment, they wanted profits. If they wanted a bad Disney knockoff, they should have talked to Don Bluth on their part. Damn, Lauren! Leaving no survivors, are we? Nearly everyone I knew that worked on Camelot hated it, and they don't even want to talk about it. Personally, it makes Don Bluth's bad movies in the 90s look good. It was rather stressful since production time was overhauled for us animators to stay at the studio longer to animate the scenes since Warner Brothers was about to be late for a deadline on the movie. When it was finished, it tanked. I myself, along with the people who I worked with, knew that it was going to bomb. Everyone I know thinks a PG-13 rated animated feature would have been better than a poor Disney knockoff. It still annoys me that the female character looks like Belle while the guy looks like the human version of the Beast. Yikes. I mean, what else is there to say? It just reeks of a studio seeing another studio's success and trying to ride the coattails of it. Not a fan of the Don Bluth slander though. Like, he tried his best, we talked about this. But yeah, after watching this movie, I can't help but feel the rushed energy that the film's production left behind. I don't want to say the animation is bad, but it is wildly inconsistent. It's pretty jarring to see the animation go from something looking really good to looking like something from a television special. This happens often throughout the movie, and it's very distracting once you notice the constant increase and decrease in quality. Some scenes have great lighting and shading, while others have none. Like, where'd it go? Did the sun just blow up? And yeah, these character designs are... Kaylee really does look like Belle. I never thought of it, but Lauren is right. Garrett really does look a lot like the human form of Beast, doesn't he? Oh, Garrett, you're no Toph Beifong. The background characters are so awkward looking. They look oddly bouncy, almost like they have no bones. It kind of reminds me of the way Mulan 2 animated its characters, and thinking about Mulan 2 makes me violently angry. And then there's Ruber. Oh my god, is he both the best. And also the weirdest thing in this movie, his design is so outlandish compared to everyone else's. I mean, if you're having trouble telling who the villain of the movie is, then you might just be as blind as Garrett is. Seriously, this is like seeing a Tim Burton character in an Illumination movie. Did the Knights never stop to look at this guy and go, yeah, there's just something off about that Ruber guy, isn't there? I'm seriously imagining how Ruber managed to stay in the Knights for so long. Was there seriously no one questioning him being there? Not a soul? Like, there had to have been at least one guy, right? Right? Hey, rookie. Needed a break from all the action?
Honestly, I can't stand the guy.
Hey, whoa. You show some respect to Ruber, okay? He's a veteran and a knight of the Round Table.
Yeah, I get that, but don't you hear some of the things he's been saying in there? The guy is as crazy as a cat in the House of Yarn.
Oh, come on. I think you're overreacting a bit. He's not that crazy. And another thing. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Someone's going to be paying for it.
You see? I thought the Knights were supposed to be honest, kind-hearted, and selfless. Not whatever Ruber is pulling out of his ass.
Look, I'll admit he's a little overzealous, but he's got the point, you know. Kingdoms don't run off of charity. That money's gotta come from somewhere.
Oh, like the neighboring 5 kingdoms? God, how much of our gold do you think they need exactly?
Hey, they're treasured allies and they need our help, regardless of how much it cost us in the process.
Please help me.
Ugh, okay, what about the orphan thing?
What about it?
He's insisting that kids work 18-hour shifts. Don't you think that's just a little extreme?
Oh, come on. Garrett over there is blind and helpless and he's still working fine.
How old is he again?
Old enough to know that nothing comes free in this world, and everyone has to contribute somehow. Except for the rich and the wealthy like Ruber. He's done his part by being born into it.
But he's literally insane! Listen to him! I think he's gonna get someone killed!
Oh, now you are overreacting. He's not gonna get anyone— Oh, hey, Sir Lionel. He's not gonna get anyone killed.
Oh yeah? Then how do you explain his twitchy eye?
He's a veteran? He's been doing this for a while now. Stick around a year and you'll see what I'm talking about. For example...
what am I looking at?
The middle finger. I can't make it anymore because of how fucked up I am. And another thing, we need to let go of our past guilt when it comes to dealing with what we called the lesser races.
See? You see that? How do you explain that?
Calm down! He's clearly talking about pest.
What?
No, like actual pest.
I don't like what you mean by that.
Cockroaches, pigeons, emus.
What?
Yeah, emus. They're like the worst. Have you ever seen what they did to Australia?
I don't know what either of those things are!
Well, we know what Elvis and Taxeri are, so maybe you should pick up a history book.
I'm sorry?
Forget about it. My point is, you're being presumptuous for nothing. Ruber may have a screw loose, admittedly, but he's done great things. He's very successful, and everyone knows being rich means that you're better than everybody else. It's how God intended it. Now, for the last time, Ruber isn't that bad. And another thing, when people enter my presence, they must salute me like this!
Auf der Heide blüht ein kleines Blümelein. Und das heißt...
You know, I think I heard somewhere he's autistic.
What?
Huh. That seemed oddly familiar. To which I can't recall, so let's move on. As outlandish as his design is, he is the only character I actually have fun watching. Yeah, he's just insane, but it's kind of funny how absolutely insane he is. I mean, cutting back to his introduction, it's so funny how fast he loses his shit. It is the best representation of that old phrase.
That escalated quickly.
The scene is barely a minute long, and Ruber just immediately tries to commit regicide. It's pretty funny, and I'm surprised we don't talk more about it. Oh, look at this opening. Look at how happy this family is. Isn't Lionel just such a great husband and father? Look at how close they are all to each other. Yeah, so the husband's fucked. Name a character more written to die than Lionel. I'll wait. Yeah, this is just Mufasa again. Only Mufasa actually got to do shit before he died. He actually mattered to the plot. If it was any random bozo who died in that room, or if anyone even died at all, it wouldn't change Ruber's actions in trying to kill the king. Effectively speaking, Lionel's death is completely useless since Kaylee already wants to be a knight before he died, so it's just a father's death because Disney did it. Speaking of because Disney did it, let's talk about the dragons. Devon and Cornwall are this movie's comic relief. And they sure love their pop culture references, like referencing Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Godzilla, or how about Disney? Yes, they actually had the balls to make fun of Disney in their movie that's a knockoff of Disney. There's also lots of in-jokes because Warner Brothers just can't help themselves. Looney Tunes, Red, hell, even Ruber, when he pulls out that spell he got off-screen somewhere, has the Acme logo on it. Ha ha, very clever, Warner Brothers. Who do you think you are, Disney?
Hey, thanks for not eating me, John.
Don't mention it, Bambi. It's all good.
Oh, well, this is awkward. Okay. Now, look, I get it. I know both of these studios love their little Easter eggs and stuff, especially in this time period, but they were usually kept to a minimum back in the Renaissance era. Usually, it was just the comic relief characters making these references. But here, it's just obnoxious how many this movie makes. And it's not just the dragons making them. Everybody makes them.
Sorry I'm late. I hate flying coach.
How do you know what coach is? How would you even know if you sat in coach? You're blind.
You've got to ask yourself, do I feel clucky? Well, do ya, punk?
Oh, that's right, I forgot. Steve Urkel is in this movie. Can you think of a more 90s thing than Steve Urkel? I guess Toy Story nabbed Tim Allen, and Bill Cosby was, busy being evil. It's funny because the chicken has practically zero plot relevance at all. At least the dragons actually do shit in this movie. The chicken, I don't know, I guess frees Kaylee in the end after she was captured by Ruber. The moment is not earned at all since he was working for the villain the entire time. There's no moment where the chicken realizes that the bad guy is the bad guy. I mean, the chicken has his wife and Ruber locks her in a cage, but this was near the beginning of the movie and it wasn't hidden from him, so it's not like it was a surprise that Ruber was evil to the chicken, so I think I'm putting more effort into writing this chicken than the writers did. Okay.
What are you?
Well, frankly, we're the reason cousins shouldn't marry.
Oh, so the dragons are inbred. That's an interesting joke for these characters. Also makes these moments all the more questionable.
Look deeply in her eyes and make her feel like a real woman.
Anyway, the characters, yeah, they're not great. They're pretty bare bone and boring, honestly. Kaylee's whole character is just her wanting to be a knight like her dad. She has no arc that she goes through, and like I said earlier, her relationship with her father is very rushed through. She just wants to be a knight. She goes on a journey with some kooky side characters, defeats a villain, and gets it in the end. Okay. At some point, while they're journeying to find Excalibur, which was taken by Ruber's griffin, who dropped it in the woods, I was thinking to myself, why is Kaylee even the main character anyway? Why couldn't we just do an honest retelling of the story of King Arthur? Merlin is in this movie, and he's completely useless. Sorry, but where the fuck were you during the final fight, jackass? The greatest wizard of all time, yet you do jack shit?
Well done, Hayden.
Fuck you! Sending that stupid bird when you could have cast Fireball just makes it even worse. Oh wait, I know why Kaylee's the main character. It's because Warner Brothers wanted to have their own Disney princess. Ironic how everyone often confuses her for one. Nobody's looking at Kaylee from the Quest of Camelot movie and saying, yeah, she's my favorite Disney princess. And it doesn't help the fact that she just looks like Belle either. Garrett is the typical hermit, who is the softest hermit in the world. This guy sings his song, I Stand Alone, which is not the Godsmack song, so immediately worse. But then immediately after the song is over, Kaylee is like, I can take care of myself. And Garrett's like, alright, bet. Like, hang on a fuck, what do you mean, bet? What was the whole point of that song about you standing alone and not meeting anyone? Why sing a song about it if you just give up immediately?
The good news is, we're out of Dragon Country. The better news is, this is where we say goodbye.
Garrett, let's take them with us. Please.
Oh, I suppose so.
You offer flip-flops.
Oh no, he's leaving the group because he feels like he's not good enough for Camelot or Kaylee. Do you think he's gonna come around and swoop in at the last minute to save the day? Of course he's going to. Have you never seen a movie before? Like I said earlier, Ruber is the only character I really enjoy watching, but he's not in the movie as much as I thought he'd be. It's mostly thanks to Gary Oldman's fun performance that sells the character. Sure, he's pretty one note, but it is kind of funny how genuinely insane he can be. Again, look back at that introduction of his. There is also some cool imaginative world building here and there. Sure, it's not deep, but it's got some cool visuals here and there. Like, you do believe this is a world of magic, but it also doesn't do enough to really sell you on the whole King Arthur legend. And look, I get it, it's not about Arthur, but it is about Excalibur. Excalibur is actually a pretty big plot point with both sides chasing after it the whole movie, and yet throughout the whole movie, there's only one scene where the sword has any magical abilities. Other than that one instance, the way it's crafted and wielded, it just seems like any other ordinary sword. Maybe have Kaylee be able to use the sword's incredible abilities herself to show that she is worthy of being a knight. I don't know, just something that shows she can obtain the role she desires outside of simply wanting it. But I guess I shouldn't be too surprised by the writing. Judging from the film's rough production, it really seems like the writers just didn't have the time to properly flesh out anything, or tell just the most bare bone and generic story. It really feels like the animators and songwriters were carrying this movie the entire time, and even they couldn't save it. Now with that being said, the songs are actually pretty good. Well, mostly. Some of them are kind of bad, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Now, let's start off with the one we all know about. The Prayer. Or at least the cover version made by Celine Dion and Andrea Bocelli around the same time. As for the movie version, it's still good, if a bit chaotic and hard to hear in the final film. I get what they were trying to do with this intense chase, followed by the mother's cry that her daughter be safe, but it just isn't earned because the mother and the daughter didn't have much screen time together to begin with, so it just kind of falls flat for me. I mean, there is a scene where they have a fight, so maybe if they played this song later in the movie when the mother is regretting her words, and it's played during a scene where Kaylee is proving that she was worthy of being a knight, then maybe it would hit way harder. It just feels like firing too early and missing its target as a result. It's a good song in its own right, it just doesn't fit the narrative the way it thinks. But there's no denying the song's massive success. It was sung both in the movie and in her own cover version by Celine Dion, one of the all-time great pop singers. I may be a metalhead, but come on, game recognized game. The song even won a Golden Globe for Best Original Song, and it was nominated for the Oscar as well, which it lost to The Prince of Egypt. Which, yeah, I mean, it's Prince of Egypt. Have you seen Prince of Egypt? It's the Prince of Egypt. The rest of the songs in this movie vary in quality throughout the film. The opening number, United We Stand, is mostly an orchestration with a random verse thrown in at the end. I don't even know if it counts, honestly, but it's okay. On My Father's Wings is so laughably forgettable. It sounds like every generic-ass I Want song. I can't even remember how the song goes. I just watched the movie and I cannot remember it all. It actually feels more like a modern Disney song, to be frank about it. Then there's Ruber. Yeah, nice try. You're fun and all, but you're no Gaston. This might be the worst song in the movie, mainly because there's hardly any singing at all in it. It doesn't even sound like Ruber is singing most of the time. He has like 2 or 3 verses that he sings, followed by him just dishing out his plan without actually singing it. Was this because Gary Oldman isn't a good singer? I don't know, I think he sounded fine for what I heard. But yeah, it just doesn't feel like a song at all. Halfway through, I actually forgot that that was what it was supposed to be. Then there's I Stand Alone, which is okay. Feels a lot like a Phil Collins song, actually. And no, this is not a Tarzan comparison, yet at the same time, it kinda sounds like a beta Tarzan song. The instruments, the drumming, it just lacks Phil's killer vocals, but it's okay overall, even if it is a pretty pointless song overall. Next up is If I Didn't Have You. Yeah, so this is the best song in the movie. Yes, it really wants to be a friend like me from Aladdin, but man, this song is so damn catchy, and both Eric Idle and Don Rickles just lock in to give such a fun performance for the song. And even though there's a ton of pop culture references in the song, the animation is still really fun and imaginative. I feel like this song number is where most of the money went. Then finally, there's Looking Through Your Eyes, which is the love song of this movie. So, given my desire for Disney to bring back romances, you must think I'm thrilled to find a romance I know nothing about, right? I mean, what do you expect from such characters anyway? Their romance feels like it's only happening because, well, that's the trope that Disney does. Or, well, did. The song itself is fine, but nothing to really write home about. Gee, I think that covers everything. Voice acting was fine.
Come on, baby, come on, light my fire.
You know there's nothing more pathetic than a flame-retarded dragon.
The CGI ogre in the film has not aged well at all. Yeah, that about covers it for me. So, it's no surprise that the film didn't do well. Critics were mixed on the whole thing, and the film only grossed about $38 million on a $40 million budget. Taking into account marketing, this was a $40 million loss for the studio. Because of this movie's failure, it had a negative impact on Warner Brothers' very perception on their animated films. In fact, Brad Bird, the director of The Iron Giant, would argue that this film's failure and Warner Brothers' scattershot production style of the film was a major factor in why The Iron Giant bombed so hard. The studio lost faith in its entire animation studio. So they ended up cutting all of the marketing budget for The Iron Giant, Osmosis Jones, and even Looney Tunes Back in Action. Yeah, a movie that came out 6 years later, the studio didn't market well because they didn't want another Quest for Camelot. And when those movies failed, the animation studio would be shut down in 2004 as a result. And while Warner Brothers would shift their animation teams to television, working closely with other studios like DC to make stuff like Batman, the Brave and the Bold, we wouldn't see Warner Brothers independently make a feature-length animated film up until 2021's Space Jam 2. If you can even count that as a full-length animated film, since there's a lot of live action in it. But what's even wilder is that this wasn't even the studio's biggest bomb. Cats Don't Dance and Osmosis Jones bombed way harder than it. Yet this was the movie Warner Brothers was afraid of. Either way, I don't think this movie deserved to bomb as hard as it did, but I also understand why it did. This was the studio's third animated film, and it was their first to try and rip off Disney. And I think people just saw right through that. Not to mention the studio just had no idea what they were doing when making this movie. Honestly, this movie was pretty mid. It's not offensively bad, but it also just bored me for the most part. I came to these knockoffs to get offended, not to get bored. I might as well stick with the remakes at this point. I got nothing out of this movie. Sure, I liked If I Didn't Have You, but the incest jokes really brought the dragons down for me. Save for a few ironically iconic scenes, this is just so standard. Yeah, this is definitely a movie I feel people would only like because they grew up with it. But if you do like it, then good for you. I will stand right here and just rewatch The Prince of Egypt again. It's that good.
Oh, to hell with this! I'm going to find Prince Magalot! At least he's in a better King Arthur movie with Sean Connery, and that fucker's reborn as a dragon! Deep cut references to Arthurian lore!
Either that, or I could go play some video games. Oh, but video games are super expensive now. Oh, if only there was a website where I could find video games on all devices for an extremely affordable price. But does such a website even exist? I mean, yeah, it's called Aniba. I literally mentioned them in the very beginning of the video. Aniba.com is the #1 website for gamers everywhere. With over 40,000 different titles to choose from with a wide variety of genres, consoles, DLC, add-ons, and more, Aniba is the best website where gamers can find a cheap, sustainable home for all their gaming needs. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. We also provide streaming services such as Netflix, Disney+, Hulu, Spotify, and others that will enhance your everyday lives as well. And just in time for that King of the Hill reboot. So buy a Hulu card and enjoy being back in Ireland. Oh, but if none of those is to your liking, then don't worry. There's a 24/7 support system that will help you with any issue you face on the site. So be sure to click on my link in the description below now to get a head start on enhancing your gaming lifestyle today. And special thanks to Aniba for sponsoring this video.